All right, everybody, back at it again. And we're on chapter 4, or rather volume 4 of Black Sabbath's discography album reviews here. And we enter, this is the band's fourth go at it here. 1972 at this point in their career. And man, oh man, were they a mess. Because as I alluded to, really didn't allude to it, just said it flat out. This was a coked up situation of an album. And literally, it was, I'm not talking about the Coca-Cola. These guys were all cooped up in the studio, just snorting coke like crazy during this thing. And, it even influenced some of the songwriting, like on a particular track that we'll get to on here. But, I mean, it didn't influence this album at all, in my opinion, in a bad way. It just, it captured a period in time for the band. And this album is really beloved by fans for the most part. But with that being said, we got the same lineup here as the past couple albums. We'll just jump right into it. And we open it up with Wheels of Confusion. And man, these guys, they're starting to dip their toes in a little bit proggier stuff. This is not in any, way, shape, or form a prog rock or prog metal, anything like that. But what I mean is that, they do, in the next couple albums, dip even more and more into that area. But Wheels of Confusion, you kind of start to see it a little bit with some really kind of cool time changes and stuff. And a really, really, really cool chorus. I love Wheels of Confusion. Hell of an opening track. This album, it is kind of known for the one or two songs for the most part by maybe casual listeners of Sabbath. But man, even though Wheels of Confusion is an opener, I would still maybe call it a deep cut. A lot of people, may not really know that if people just listen to Sabbath on the radio, but people may not know that song. But great song, absolutely love it. Hell of a way to open it up. Cool time changes, decent lengthy track. Then we get to Tomorrow's Dream with just another really heavy riffer, which really I want to get to that. About the production on this thing, like I said in I think it was in the Master of Reality album review. Their albums aren't like, oh man, this is just a clean. No, they're gritty and they're dirty and heavy, just like at the time 70s production was, for the most part, and in my opinion, it adds to the Sabbath sound, that classic Sabbath sound, especially on this one. This one's darker and grittier than even the previous three as far as tone and production goes. I wouldn't say so much on the songwriting part, but definitely on the tone and and the production. But Tomorrow's Dream is just a hell of a song. One of my favorites off here, big time. It's got kind of a really really cool groove to it, and just super hooky verses too. A lot of these tracks on here have just the verses in them are just as hooky as the damn chorus. Then we get to the big hit off here, but I love it. It's pretty, it's sad, it's dark. We're talking about Changes. Of course, the piano played by Tony Iommi, the little synth thing they got going on, key synthesizer going on, played by Geezer Butler, and then, no drums or anything from Bill, but Ozzy just wailing away out his troubles here with, oh man, just a beautiful song. You could play this to me 100 times and it will still be just as beautiful as the first time I've heard it. Damn near make you shed a tear. It's that good. Just an incredible track. I get, like I said, that is one of the ones, if not the only one people know off here. A lot of people, if they're just kind of casual Sabbath fans or whatever, that's cool, but there's a lot of, in my opinion, a lot better stuff on here. But that is a beautiful song, and it has its place on this album as the darker kind of song and more peaceful sounding song that they've kind of sprinkled in on each of these records so far. Then we get to kind of a little interlude deal here, FX, which is just some kind of weird beeps and boops. Doesn't really add anything to the album. Doesn't really take anything away from it. Just a little, I think it's probably less than a minute. Some noises going on. So, and then we get to, man, this one might be my favorite, Supernaut. Oh, you talk about just a heavy heavy track and a heavy riff. That is, oh man, one of my favorite Tony Iommi riffs actually is right there. Oh, it's heavy as hell. This album just continues to just offer just these dark, gloomy riffs, and it will continue to. And you know, it's just there's such dirt. There's a dirge to them that you know that the production on this thing, and you know the production is really similar. You know, to talk back about the production again, the production is very similar on a lot of these '70s Sabbath records, but like I said, this one in particular is just darker and grittier. It managed to do it somehow. And on tracks like Supernaut that have super dark and gritty riffs, it just adds to it. Love that track. Then we get to the song about cocaine. Even says it in the song. It's whispered to you by Ozzy at one point in there. Snowblind, and that's the other one that maybe people would know. That would maybe get some radio play every now and then. But man, I love that song. One of my favorites off here. Also, kind of dipping their toes, you know, in the prog area with the time changes. Quite a bit of them in this song, kind of shifting speeds and stuff. Really, really awesome song. Hell, Ozzy even played it, a really cool version of it with this after Randy Rhoads died on his solo tour. Got Brad Gillis to play. They were playing that song as well as a ton of other Sabbath songs on Speak of the Devil, a live album he did with Brad Gillis from Night Ranger. And that version of that song's really cool. Brad Gillis does that good, but that's besides the point. Just thought I'd throw that in there because it's cool. But yeah, Snowblind is a Sabbath classic, and it really captures, that song really pretty much tells you the tale of what was going on at this time for the band. All the coke business they were doing and just going crazy, staying up for days and just writing this record. And that just captures that feel perfectly. And then we get to Cornucopia. And man, that's another really cool one that I kind of forgot about how damn good it was and how heavy that riff was. Yet again, it's brutal. Absolutely brutal stuff. And it just, hell of a follow-up. It's a little bit shorter, so it doesn't, you don't get this album's not tiresome if you're not a fan of lengthy tracks, which even the longest tracks on here, like Snowblind, are maybe 6.5 minutes max. So, but what I'm trying to say is that, that short little heavy blast like Cornucopia, it, sorry, still a little under the weather here, but we're going to power through it. But that short little heavy blast like Cornucopia is it's a good follow to the kind of shifting story of Snowblind. Then we get to Laguna Sunrise, and that is the kind of a little instrumental type deal they got going on, which is kind of pretty. Same with St. Vitus Dance, kind of goes along with that same kind of interlude kind of feel here with just kind of some prettier noises and all that. But then we close it with, man, that might be the darkest tone these guys get on the album. It's Under the Sun. I mean, holy hell, that right when that first note kicks in, it's like, oh man, that is dark. It's like on who knows how tuned down. Goodness, excuse me, I'm sorry guys, but I'm on the upside of this sickness. It's kind of making me cough a little bit, but we're gonna, like I said, it ain't stopping these reviews coming. So, but anyways, Under the Sun, it stops you in your tracks and it makes you wonder how far down Tony tuned that damn guitar, because right off the bat it's just like that string's vibrating deep and heavily, and man oh man, just what a great way to close the album. I will say this one, as to where the last two albums kind of, one side was stronger, and then on Paranoid, the other side, the opposing side was stronger than the side that was stronger on Master of Reality. But this one, it's pretty just well-rounded, I'm not as big of a fan for the instrumental kind of prettiness on this one. They don't do any harm to the album, but they're just not as, memorable as some of the other kind of tracks like that we would get later on, kind of like in the next album that we'll end up talking about. But yeah, guys, Volume 4 is an iconic, again, coked up experience of an album that it just needs to be experienced by every Sabbath fan. It's got classics and heavy freaking riffs all over here that'll make you want to pick up a guitar and play them. But anyways, guys, next time we're rolling along through these 70s Sabbath records. Loving doing it too. Love this era. And next time we're going to be digging into Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Man, oh man, they dip their toes just a little bit more into that progressive water. So stay tuned for that. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and favorite tracks off here and maybe memories you have with this record. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, comment, and thanks.